Prime Minister-designate Binyamin Netanyahu has been scrambling to put together a coalition before the deadline, and now it seems he may be a little closer to that goal. Here to provide analysis is Yoni Kapinski. Shalom, Yoni.
Shalom, Aaron.
Yoni, it seems that time is running out for would-be Premier Binyamin Netanyahu to form a government, but has there been some sort of breakthrough?
Well, at least with the largest potential coalition member, Avigdor Lieberman's Yisrael Beitanu, Likud and Yisrael Beitanu negotiators have reportedly come to a compromise in regards to the Justice Ministry, which was apparently the strongest bone of contention in the negotiations.
Now, Lieberman wanted the current minister to stay in office. That seems to no longer be on the table.
Yes, outgoing Prime Minister Ehud Olmert appointed Professor Daniel Friedman as Justice Minister. Friedman was absolutely despised by the Supreme Court and most of the legal system in the country because Friedman wanted to weaken the courts in favor of elected representatives, the Knesset. Now, Yisrael Beitanu party chief Avigdor Lieberman was initially adamant that Friedman stay on as Justice Minister. The exact details of what went on are still unclear, but Netanyahu, he wanted either a Yisrael Beitanu MK or an external candidate to hold the position of Justice Minister, and it seems that Lieberman has softened his position to allow negotiations to move forward with MK Uzi Landau being suggested for the post.
Now tell us, what has Yisrael Beitanu gotten that they would still join the coalition?
So while Lieberman has given in to some extent on the Justice Minister issue, at the same time other demands such as control over the Foreign Ministry, which is considered a top ministry equal to Defense and Finance, has been handed over to Yisrael Beitanu, and we may be seeing a new Foreign Minister, Avigdor Lieberman. Certain other demands such as civil marriage have been very quietly shelved by Yisrael Beitanu for the time being, or possibly the long haul. Now, we shouldn't forget that while much of the rank and file of the party is non-religious or even anti-religious, Lieberman and most of the leadership is highly traditional, or some are even outright religious.
Now, today we're hearing about there was some meeting between the National Union Chief Ketzela and Binyamin Netanyahu.
Yes, National Union Chairman Ketzela reported this morning that the meeting with Netanyahu yesterday was positive. Ketzela requested the Housing Ministry, including authority over the Israel Lands Administration and the Division for Settlement. These are two bodies which are now under the authority of the Ministry of Agriculture. Ketzela also demanded the education portfolio for Jewish Home leader Professor Daniel Hershkowitz.
Now, why would Ketzela be demanding ministries for other parties?
Well, Aaron, it seems that this may be the beginning of the unification of powers that many of the National Union and Jewish Home supporters were hoping to see. Ketzela says that his party and the Jewish Home stand together behind a demand for housing and education ministries. This is what a bloc of 7 Knesset members deserves, he says, as in 7 unified MKs instead of 2 separate parties with 3 and 4 seats in the Knesset. The portfolio of education should be in the hands of religious Zionism, he said to Arutz Sheva. The combination of Torah and work, the army recruitment values, and the religious education are proof that Netanyahu must deposit this portfolio in the hands of representatives of this public.
But it's not even sure Netanyahu will bring in Ketzela to his coalition.
That's right, Aaron. Netanyahu needs to bring in 3 parties, and there are 4 which are interested in joining. This is Shas, the National Union, the Jewish Home, and United Torah Judaism. Likud has made progress in negotiations with Shas. The details are still secret, but Likud has announced the parties will sign a formal coalition agreement early next week. Now, it is expected that both United Torah Judaism and Habayit HaYehudi will join, despite the Jewish Home openly expressing disappointment with their treatment, at times even being seemingly snubbed by the Likud. Now, regarding the National Union, it is still unclear whether the National Union will end up joining. It's true that on paper, the National Union and Likud have many ideological similarities, but the National Union and their predecessors have left and even brought down nominally right-wing governments that were surrendering parts of the land of Israel. Now, of course, this wouldn't sit well with any politician, but it is especially annoying to a man like Netanyahu, who has already given lands in Israel, including the holy city of Hebron, when pressure was applied by foreign governments. So, as we mentioned before, the NU is also asking for portfolios such as housing and construction, which Likud wants to give to Shas. Now, it is possible to form a government without the NU, but it would be the narrowest coalition possible, creating a perception of weakness in the political and public sectors. something the Likud does not want.
So there's no more talk about a unity government with Barak and Livni.
Well, Kadima and Labour are out for now. It seems that the only way to regain power and stay relevant in the eyes of the public is to lead an aggressive opposition and not be some sort of second place or even third place in the coalition. There were talks about Barak wanting to join a coalition in order to stay in the defense ministry. We have to remember, Aaron, that he is not going to be even the opposition leader, rather only the head of the second largest party in the opposition. But for now, also Barak is out. It would harm him significantly among his initial supporters and voters if he were to join a Netanyahu Lieberman nationalist government.
Now, there have also been reports about a mini rebellion inside the Likud. Is this anything to really worry the chairman?
Probably not. Knesset member Silvan Shalom has been very unhappy with his treatment and is threatened to actually stay out of the cabinet, but it is extremely unlikely. Shalom will break off. What could happen is Shalom will challenge Netanyahu for party leadership when that comes, but beyond gathering support and some grumbling, Shalom probably will just sit tight.
Yonan Kapinski, thank you very much.